What up, young world? It's your boy Jade Chosen One, and I'm about to give you the skinny on the locks of your fucking fantasy draft. What you're supposed to do, what you're not supposed to do, how you're gonna be cool like me. You don't have to wear big ass glasses because you're blind like I am, but you better see why you picked the people. Woo!
Jade Chosen One, DJ One and Only.
Football is a very, very, very dangerous game where sometimes you get a dirty Sanchez, like Mark Sanchez, and run into people's butts, and you get really, really hurt. But that's why I don't play professional football. I only play fantasy because I don't want a gigantic butt to take over my life. But I'm going to tell you why there's no ifs, ands, or buts to winning your fantasy league. Let's start. As you can see, I have multiple teams, but there's a set of rules that I abide by that no one else can tell me to stop doing. I have 4 major rules. Rule 1, Drake got one thing right. No new friends. I think at the end of the day, when a player joins a new team for a huge contract, that doesn't prove anything to me because I want established stars. Does anyone remember Andre Rison? Andre Rison had a couple great seasons with the Atlanta Falcons, and he started dating Left Eye, and then he signed that huge contract with the Browns where he only played 1 year, and his girlfriend pretty much lit his house on fire, his huge fucking mansion. Do you want your mansion on fire? No, you don't. I don't like people like Tyreek Hill and Amari Cooper, because at the end of the day, who's throwing to those guys? I'm sorry, I don't think Tua can get the ball to Tyreek in the way that Patrick Mahomes did, and I honestly don't think that at the end of the day, Amari Cooper will have anyone that can throw to him. Deshaun Watson probably will be out the whole season. I hope they suspend him the rest of the season. And it's just crazy because when you go to a new team, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to play as good as you did the last team, because at the end of the day, they have a different offense. You know what's crazy? You go to a team where they run first, you're not going to be a good receiver. You're just not. So I wouldn't take any risk with any new players on new teams, no matter how good they used to be or were. I'm sorry, it doesn't work. It doesn't work out.
So, no new friends, no new friends, no new friends, no new friends, no new friends.
Right. No new players on new teams. Let's not do it, dog. That's rule number 1, dog. Hey, so you got no new friends and your house isn't on fire? Let's go to rule number 2. Rule number 2 is don't draft anyone hurt early. I think that goes without saying, but everyone does it. Oh, my favorite players, Odell Beckham Jr. I don't know. He's mine too, but I don't know if he's even going to play this year. A lot of times you take the risk with those kind of wacky picks at the end. And some people be like, well, he's just coming back from ACL surgery. Have you had ACL surgery? It's not very helpful or good. So in general, when they have the little questionable or the little, or infirmary sign, check to see why they're hurt. And unless it's something like, I don't know, something like Deshaun Watson where he's just touching masseuses, maybe they come back. He'll be suspended most of the year, so don't worry about that guy. But in general, I would only look to see if they have pulled hamstring or something like that. But even then, I might not pick them, because what's the point of fantasy football? You have to have wins. That's why I stream defenses, because at the end of the day, it only matters how many wins you have, not what players you have. If you won a game because everyone got COVID on the Baltimore Ravens and you picked up, Falco from the replacements and he threw like 200 yards, you won that one game, well, that's one more win to your freaking fantasy playoff run, baby. Let's go. So no new friends and no hurt players. No new friends and no hurt players, damn it.
So once again, the rule is no new friends and no hurt players ever, ever, ever. And you know what gets me hurt? When people don't sponsor this video. You could sponsor this video.
Oh, man, you want to sponsor the video? You can hit me up in the comments or just email me through YouTube. I don't know how the shit works, but like, comment, and subscribe first, because this is awesome. Fantasy football news all day long, all day long, all day long. Well, whenever I post a video, I guess. Yo, that was a crazy commercial. How did my skin turn like that? Whoa, why am I wearing a pink shirt now? Anyways, what's rule number 3? Handcuff, handcuff, handcuff. What's the most dangerous position in football besides kicker? Running back. Usually a running back, has like 3 or 4 good seasons. Not even. They have 1 or 2 good seasons, and maybe they play another 2 as a backup. But anyways, why do you think I know who Naheem Hines is? Why do you think I know who Kareem Hunt is? Well, because at the end of the day, I have Jonathan Taylor and Nick Chubb. Both monsters, but they carry the ball so much that they could get hurt. You don't want a McCaffrey situation from last year where he was the number one pick in every league and then he got hurt early and you had nobody to back that shit up. You know what I mean? I don't say you should handcuff wide receivers. I don't think you should handcuff quarterbacks. But at the end of the day, running backs always know who the backup is and just leave a spot on your bench for it. I know you'll never ever play him, but the minute you need him, you're gonna love that you have him. Right?
Fantasy football player, once you back that ass up. He's a good fantasy football player. Back that ass up. Back that ass up. Back that ass.
Handcuff. Oh, do you know what rule number 4 is? Rule number 4 is the craziest rule of them all. And you gotta know what it is. There's one position that I think there's a million players for, and you should draft that position last unless there's some elite talent at the top. Listen, there are more wide receivers than people on earth. Well, that's not true. But in fantasy football, the one position that there's always players for is wide receiver. Don't worry about spending the early rounds and mid rounds with them. At the end of the day, what you can do is look at people's depth chart and see like random teams and their wide receivers. Even a team like the Tampa Bay Bucks, they have, Goodwin, they have Evans, they have Russell Gage. All these guys get receptions, and that even includes, Rob Gronkowski. What you have to realize is at the end of the day, the wide receiver position is a plethora of dudes just walking around trying to catch the ball. They're out there trying to get receptions. So unless you're really strapped for wide receivers, I say leave them to the end. Unless you got Cooper Kupp at the top or Jamar Chase. But even then, I think it's a gamble. So you have all 4 rules. Do you know what you're going to do now? You're going to dominate your fantasy league, goddammit.